love the steel color. She's the only one in the barn, and the first broken steel doe I seen belonged to a different breeder, and I begged for years to buy that doe from him, and he wouldn't sell her. So when I finally got a broken steel doe, I kept her. She's out of Rosie, both of these are, and when she was a little bitty kit, Mom chewed her ears off, so or siblings, I'm not sure. There was a litter of 8, so it could have been.
Sometimes when they start getting big and the cage starts getting a little crowded, they get a little.
Yeah. So she's got her ears chewed. This is a broken steel. It is not ARBA recognized. You cannot show it. You cannot earn legs. You can't do anything.
But you can still breed.
They are considered a meat rabbit. Mutt really is what they're considered. Even though she is full blood New Zealand, she's not a recognized color. So.
But genetically, you could still get broken.
Well, she came.
Out of her,
yeah, she came out of Bigelow. She's Bigelow and Rosie. So, and she's got a beautiful body. She's cranky today, so I'm not going to mess with her. But she's got a beautiful body. So I kept her, and then I have hers, and I haven't named these girls yet. So far, I've just been calling them Steel and Chestnut. Yeah, she's
those
angry.
aren't bad names.
These 2 girls are angry today. I moved them. They work together over there, and today I separated them, gave them their own pen, so they're in the new barn, new environment, and they're not liking it one bit.
A lot of people don't understand. So little change can make rabbits so upset.
Yep. Both of these girls are very angry today because they got a bigger cage. They're no longer together. I did leave them side by side, but they're still angry. And this girl, she's got a beautiful body too. Out of my brokens on this line, I think these 2 has got the better bodies than any of them, including Biggers. And Biggers is a grand champion, but I like the bodies of these 2 better than Bigger. So. All right, and here's Rosie, and she is getting very, very old. She is, I think she's over 4 years old now.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, as far as breeding wise, that's pretty old. Yeah, she's 3.5, 4 years, something like that. But,
poor girl.
And then here's my new broken doe. This is Madison.
She's pretty.
She is.
And unbeknownst to me and the breeder, I purchased her bred. I was watching her, you know, just got her, and I was watching her and putting my hands on her, and I thought, she feels like she's pregnant. So I gave her a nest box. And sure enough, 6 days after I gave her a nest box, she had a litter of 6, I think.
Wow.
She's lost 1 or 2 of them. Now this girl, and one up here, is very special to me through not my breedings. It's some that I had years ago. My original doe, Caraway. And my original broken buck, Cilantro. She's the 4th generation off.
Now, is she?
They would be her great-great-grandparents.
Does she have enough that she's considered a broken rather than a Charlie, or?
She's going to be borderline. I don't know. I gotta look and see.
You haven't been able to tell genetically yet.
Well, I'm thinking. I don't know what she was bred to. I'm assuming a red. Genetically, I don't think she's a Charlie because she has. I have some reds in her.
You would have all brokens if she was a Charlie, would you not?
I have one broken, one heavy broken. If she was genetically a Charlie, they would all be broken.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
So genetically, she is not a Charlie, but you put her on the show table, it's gonna fall to the judge. It could go one way or the other.
She is.
She is a Basco Borden doe.
What if I can't tell by that way that they have babies? I take them back to the buck. But And
Most of the
usually they'll
time you
breed-
don't have to palpate. Most of the time all you have to do is put it in the cage with the buck. If she's hissing and growling,
and grunting, yeah,
she's
yeah.
pregnant. Get her out of there
Yeah.
before she hurts him.
But I just, I don't know. It seems like 10 to 14 days later, or what have you, if they skip the first time, I'll put them back, and that's when they'll take. But usually in that time period, I wean some babies off, and some of them were, she didn't have as many, even if she still got a couple on her. And I thought maybe that made a difference of taking a few of the babies off of her. You know, if they've got.
Now I've had some
6 or 8 or
that
something.
they just won't rebreed until baby's been weaned for 3 or 4 days, and
Well,
then
I think that was the deal with mine. Of course, I've had a problem. Of course, it's been so hot and everything. I've had a problem
Fargo
with
is
anything
one of
rebreeding.
those. She won't rebreed until her babies are weaned for 3 or 4 days.
Now, is this
This is Luann.
Wow.
She
She's
is
even bigger in person.
she is almost 13 pounds. She is
wow.
very massive.
I've made comments about how big she is, but then you start.
That's
telling
the
about
only
how big
reason
a
I
litter
keep
she
her.
has.
She
But
is the ugliest doggone rabbit in my barn. I think she's just ugly. I mean, look at her. I mean, she's just she's just ugly. I don't like her, but man, she's so big, and so I do use her for smaller bucks.
But you also said that
She's
she lost a couple of large litters, right?
Yep, I've had 2 litters out of her. One litter was 11. She had them all on the wire. I took them in and actually saved 10 of them. But then they ended up dying one at a time.
Well, what happened to the
By the time
second
they were 10 days old, they were all dead. So I'm not sure why. I assume just because they were on the wire.
Is that the second litter you're talking about, or the?
That was her first litter.
Okay, now the first one was the one, if I remember right, it was kind of cold when she had them
Yep,
too. wasn't
she
it?
did.
'Cause I remember you took them
Yeah,
inside
they
and
were
warmed them up
froze.
or put them under
Yep.
a lamp or something.
Yeah, I took them in the house
Well, what
and
happened to
warmed
the
them
second
up.
litter?
Second litter, same thing.
Oh, same thing.
She had them on the wire. Of course, I didn't catch them, and so when I came out, they were all dead.
Already killed.
So she's got one more shot.
3 strikes and you're out, huh?
Yep, I'm going to give her one more try, and if she don't raise a litter this next time, then she's crock pot. And
Well,
I
that
really
worked.
hate that because she's
Well, that
the
worked.
biggest doe out here.
It
But,
worked for Helena, if I remember right.
I actually
her?
gave Helena 4 tries.
You did. Okay.
Yeah, she got 4 attempts. And Helena's another one. She just,
Yeah, but you said you told her she either produced some food or she
yeah,
was
I
going to be
told her, I
food.
said, you either feed me or I'm going to quit feeding you. And she had a litter.
It was
I have
small.
only had her to raise 1 kit. But what I do like about Helena, she'll take any kit at any age.
Oh,
Just
to
like
foster?
Allie, I lost Allie in one of her kits, but she had one remaining kit.
Was that the heat
I
or my
lost
head?
both of the blue does. I do have one of Allie's babies. I put her over with, she's with Helena, isn't she? Yeah, I think so. Because Helena doesn't have any babies. But she's got 4 daisies, and then she's got the blue one out of Hallie. Or Allie.
Yeah, okay.
I can give her, I can foster to her anything, and she'll raise it.
Any age?
Any age. That one there's, what, 6.5 weeks? 7 weeks,
Got a couple
something?
that are pretty good about fostering,
don't
but
care.
they need to be pretty close in
Yeah, she
age
don't
to
care.
what she has.
Well, now they're the same age. They were all born the same day. But most of your does, you put a new rabbit in and she's got a litter that's 7 weeks old, she's going to not be happy. But she took it. So, where are we, Fargo? She's out Bazooka Joe, she's out Bazooka Joe, and so is Bella Vista. All 3 of these girls are out Bazooka Joe. Different moms. She's out of Paprika. Yes. She's out of my Broken Doe Paprika, who's no longer here. She is out of a red doe that belonged to Wilby Rabbitry in Oklahoma. That doe now belongs to Boxthorn, but when I chose her. And she's another one. I was just undecided whether I was going to keep her or not because she's Lop, New Zealand. She has had lop ears from the time I've had her, and she still has lop ears. They just
Yeah,
won't
okay,
stand
I
up.
remember. She's the one that the other guy, he wanted to breed one of his does to Bazooka Joe, and so
Yep.
he was,
I got the
she
pick of
ended
the
up being
litter.
she ended up being the only doe.
Yep. I got pick of the litter, but she ended up being the only broken doe that wasn't a Charlie or white.
It wasn't so it wasn't
Yeah,
wasn't really
so-
wasn't really a choice,
No, it really
just
wasn't,
a lack of
but,
options.
And I just never have liked her because of the lop ears. But now this one's Bella Vista, and she's out Bazooka Joe and let me say Harmony.
Now, she's a heavy doe.
Now she's out of
If you show a heavy broken, do the judges lean on you very hard
Morning
because of that?
Star.
I mean, do they?
Depends on the judge. Different
Yeah,
judges will do different things.
Yeah, that's true.
There's some judges that like the heavy, so
I learned that morning at Jonesboro.
it just depends on the judge. But she's my favorite broken. Well, no, Madison's my favorite, but she's my favorite Bazooka Joe doe.
Yeah, those are that one is really light, or is it just compared to that one? That one right there looks
Well,
really
that's
really light, but it's
broken to broken.
So
When
that-
you get
so that
broken to
lightens them
broken,
up.
you do get lights. I mean, you will get some darks like this one here. And I've got two. I really haven't looked to see if they're
Is
Charlies or whites.
Is that why Charlies are so desirable? So
This
that
one's
because
actually a white.
because you can actually breed them without,
That one's a white.
you can actually breed them to a red, and try to
one's
help keep
white.
the color. Is that what you use the Charlies for? I mean,
The Charlies throw beautiful broken patterns.
right, but you can breed it, like if you had a Charlie buck, you could breed it to a red doe and get all,
Get all brokens.
but they wouldn't be heavy
big,
brokens,
ain't
not
she?
necessarily, would they?
Not usually. I won't say it never happens, but generally no.
But that helps you keep the color.
Bigger
in
than
the
what
broken
you see
one,
on YouTube.
right?
She's
Right.
pretty though.
Because the reds, it seems, you're right. I mean, it's not, and it's not just yours, but it always seems like the reds are the reds are so much darker. The red is.
Yep. But keep in mind
But
too,
that's what everybody-
on the judging table for a broken color's only 5 points.
That's true. That's true.
And when you see Bazooka Joe in person, he's actually fairly light. Now, I've seen a lot lighter. He's not orange, but he is fairly light. But he's also a grand champion, so.
Well, that just shows that
5
color is not.
Yeah, color is not. I like to say, build your barn and then paint it.
Yeah.
So,
there you go.
I really don't worry about color too much. I mean, unless it's just really something stupid, you know. But I don't worry about color too much.
You want to come up here where you can see? Okay.
And then here is She Devil. She's out of Oklahoma, and she has small litters, but she's a really good mom.
And that's another one you tamed down, didn't you? Didn't you say you got her from somebody that
Yes,
said she was mean?
this doe was actually gave to me.
Oh, yeah.
The breeder hated this doe. She said she
Really?
was mean, and she doesn't put up with meanness. I've brought her home, and I've never had a problem with her. Now, she is not sit in your lap and cuddle,
Well,
and she probably
there's a lot
never will be.
there's a lot of them that
But
aren't
she
that.
is not mean at all. But her breeder said she couldn't put her hand in here, that she would attack her and hiss at her and lunge at her. And she wouldn't always say, look at the breeder. For the simple fact, I used to have a doe, Pepper. If you look back years ago, I had one Pepper. She was a still New Zealand. I never had trouble with her. Never. When we moved here, all of a sudden, I couldn't go near her. I couldn't walk past her cage, period. She would just fling herself everywhere, upside down. For months, she would do that. And a neighbor of mine up on the hill saw her, and she wanted her. She said, made a comment that she had thought that was a beautiful color. I said, well, she's mean as snot, but if you want her, I'll give her to you because she's a beautiful rabbit. It just, I don't have the heart to butcher her because she was one of my favorites.
Well, see, that's what I'm telling you. That's what would happen to me if
Yeah.
I kept one that was a breeder too long.
But she took her home. Not a bit of problem with her. And what we found out is...
You didn't have any, maybe have any predators or something that was coming up here?
No,
messing
what
with
I
her at night?
found out was it was the cage.
Really?
She had a cage that the door opened out, and when she moved here, the door opened in, and she was scared of that door.
I've had some. I made all of ours where the door will swing in, and then we hook it inside at the top.
Yeah, that's
And
what
I
this
have,
one is.
and I have a door too that has in the past when they was in one of those would slap at that
Yep.
door when I went to push
That's
it open.
exactly what it was. She didn't like that door because something happened and she couldn't keep her, and I ended up with her back. And when I got her back, not a problem. I put her in a cage that the door didn't open in. Never had another problem.
Well, I'll have to keep that in mind if we ever run into
So-
that before, because I mean, you never know just when something just that simple can
Yeah,
change a
yeah.
rabbit's whole attitude.
Yeah, and then I had one of my brokens down here. They went psycho on me, and it took me weeks to figure out my tarp was flapping. And after I buckled it down to where it wouldn't flap anymore,
really don't take
she
much.
leveled out. It took me weeks to figure out what in the world is wrong with this rabbit.
Yeah, I told Chuck.
Where are we? Ozark. Ozark.
Well, she come by her name, honestly.
Yeah, I picked her up in Ozark, or in the Ozark area.
Ozark. Okay. Well, I was just talking about because
Well,
she's in
there's a
Ozark.
town, Ozark.
Okay, yeah, I saw the sign
Arkansas.
for that one too. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a little, about an hour or so from here, I think.
I was thinking she came bred, but no, she didn't. I've had her for a while. No, I've had her for a while, so
Now,
no.
which one was it that you said that had babies on the wire that you evidently had bred her, but you didn't remember breeding her?
I had Bella Vista.
That was
She
Bella
had
Vista?
13.
That's who that was?
Her first litter, she had 13. And I don't have record of breeding her. I don't remember breeding her.
And there's no chance that, had you had her, did you raise her?
Yeah, she's one.
Okay, so there's no chance that it's not one that you got bred
No, no.
when you got her. Okay,
And I
'cause
don't keep them with my bucks, so
Right.
there's no way she could have been bred. I just
Ozark's got pretty
didn't take
color.
notes. I love Ozark. She's a very beautiful doe.
I tell you what though,
She's
I haven't-
out of a Clint doe.
I haven't seen Ozark really posed up, but I'm gonna tell you what, she'd have a tough time beating J6. I think of all your red does, J6 is by far my favorite.
J6 is my favorite. Red doe. J6 and she devil. But now I like Ozark too.
Well, like I said, I just haven't seen her picture yet. You know, usually
Do I not have Ozark on the webpage yet?
if you do, I haven't gone back
Ah.
and seen it since.
Aha! Well, I guess we
But
need to do that then.
you didn't have some of your new bucks on there the last time I looked.
Carlisle and Nebo. They're juniors.
Oh, okay, that's why. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't
But
realize they
they're
were
not-
still juniors. They're so big.
Technically, they are not in the breeding program yet. I don't put them on there until they're breeding. Now, at one point, I did say coming up, but then I took all that off, so, because I changed my mind too often, so I just quit. That's Nebo, and he's still a junior. Carlisle has a litter. Carlisle and Bella Vista. I should get him on the list soon because he does have a litter here. He might be an intermediate now. He's probably in the 5-6 month mark, but he is proven. I just haven't put him on the breeding program officially yet. He will go. I'll tell you why Nebo's not Nebo, Carlisle. I'll tell you why he's not on the breeding program yet in a minute.
Okay.
Then here's J6, and she is my favorite red doe. She is just a beautiful doe, and
Go by
she
herself.
throws some beautiful babies. Yep, she's got
You
some
must have
out
just
there.
taken some off of her.
I did. They're 12 weeks old now, and I just didn't rebreed her.
Well, it's so hard.
Her last litter, she just wore down a little bit, but now she had 4 litters back to back to back to back. So she
And she held her condition that well that whole time, and
she
so
done pretty good.
well, she's due a break then, isn't she?
Yeah, I gave her a little break, and then of course I don't breed in July and August, so she got extended.
Or do you start
September
back late
1st.
Oh, September 1st. Okay. Well,
Now I thought about doing October or August 15th if it cools down, I really thought about it. I wanted to, and I thought, you know what? That's just going to throw my whole system off because I breed on the first or that weekend, the first weekend of the month.
But you alternate so that you've got, do you try to breed all yours that are
I
going to be bred?
alternate half and half.
So you'll do some of this month and then next month, or
Yep.
you alternate week to week? Or?
No, I alternate month to month. I do my breeding the first weekend of the month.
I don't
That way
blame you
keep
for this
it
one being
in.
your favorite. She's beautiful.
She's beautiful.
Who is that?
This one,
Love that
you know, I
color.
told you I had two special does in this hat over here. One was Madison. She was Caraway's great-great-granddaughter. This is Caraway's other great-great-granddaughter. Do you remember Ash? Ash was this gorgeous red. He was just so dark, but he was only 8.5 pounds.
Marvel's got color like that. And
She's
and
the
it
best
just
colored
aggravates me.
doe in my barn. Well, she's the best colored red, period.
Yeah. He just aggravates
See,
me. Marvel just will
that's
not
J6.
breed, period. It
And
just
this is
aggravates me.
Hoxie.
Her color is so beautiful.
Hoxie throws real pretty babies. And usually pretty dark, too. You're getting ready to see one of her babies. Now this is Adana. She's my newest red doe.
Adana?
Adana.
Adana.
A-D-O-N-A. Adana.
Okay.
And she is 6, maybe 7 months old. If she is close to 9 pounds, September 1st, I'll probably breed her.
Well,
But I haven't decided who to use her with. I don't want to lose that dark color.
right.
So I've got one red buck over here I'm thinking about using. Maybe.
So you haven't introduced her to your viewers then?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
you have?
Yep. Adana and Madison both came in
guess
May 5th.
Okay, I watched, but there was so much.
Yep, those are the two
There's-
that I said I was really excited about because they were the great-great-granddaughters.
Okay, I
of
do remember
Caraway
you saying that, but I couldn't
Cilantro.
remember if you had said her name because that name is just new to me. It didn't soak in or something if it was on there, but that's.
I may not have named her yet.
I might not work right out anyway.
I may not have named her yet.
It
Because
could be.
sometimes I have them for God knows how long before I choose a name.
Well, you know, it's just like I tell these folks here. I had a little Netherland dwarf buck. I was sitting on the couch and I was playing with him the other
Come on
night,
outside.
and he whispered in my ear what his name was. You know, it's just like sometimes their attitude or personality or whatever makes me decide what their name is. I try to go with a list like you know, you and the guy up in Rum's Buns, he does the candy and all that. But
Yeah.
if I pick a list, I can't stick to it because somebody will come along and they look to me like a whatever, and I'll name them something completely different.
And that's fine.
But
My bucks are in sad shape. They are blowing. Look at my ground. Look at my ground. I mean, they are blowing their coats. They are horrible.
I got a little.
Nasty.
We got a little Netherland dwarf. His back
these
is just
all-
almost bare.
yeah, are these all bucks out here?
This side.
This
These
side.
are all bucks. This is Ink. He's my Charlie Buck. Charlie Black.
Now is he? I watched your videos and I've heard about him for a while. It seems like is he getting up in years a little bit, or is he still fairly young? or-
He is.